So,
No, I'm on mute.
okay, okay.
This conference will now be recorded.
Hey guys, I will record the session. You just you can ignore.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yesterday we discussed about data view expressions, how to add the data view expressions and all, right? So how many of you practiced yesterday's session? Is it completed? Yes, is it completed? So no one is responding. Is
Yes,
it audible?
yes, Sujit. I've started but not completed. But I do have some questions around it.
Okay.
So is data view expressions the only way we can deal with data transformations in Mule, or can we use anything else?
No, in Mule we use data view 2.0 only. It supports only data view 2.0. Previously we have Mule expression language that was not that is not supporting in Mule 4.
Okay, fine. Okay. So I can't use anything like any other scripting languages if I want to.
No. Data view is separately scripted or designed for a Mule applications.
Fine, right. Okay. Okay, Sujit. Thanks.
It's like another language like Java. How we have a packages, libraries, and all. In same way, we have a data view expressions. Also, we have a libraries and everything. As I said, I have a separate course in Udemy. If you want to purchase that, which talks about complex scenarios of data view expressions in depth. Total 5 years of video and architecture and data. These practice test papers putting together. I'm giving for 8K, 8,000 rupees. Okay, instead of 13,000 for my students. It's a discounted price.
Fine. Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Anyone interested? If anyone interested on that, please let me know. We'll generate a open course for them. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Today we are going to discuss about one more very interesting topic: exception handling. So in your respective applications, you might have gone with the you might have cached the exceptions, right, in your respective languages or in your respective program, right? Same way here also we can cache the exceptions, right? We can cache the exceptions, but how to cache the exception in Mule 4 is little bit different when you compare with the Mule 3 exception handling. So that is the reason I'm specifically telling we are discussing about error handling in Mule 4, right? Why specifically Mule 4? In Mule 3, we have around 5 strategies to catch the exception. Like choice is one strategy, catch is one strategy, rollback is one strategy, global is one, and reference. See, these are the strategies we have in Mule 3. When you come to Mule 4, these all are discontinued. But the functionality of this, like choice, catch, and rollback, the functionalities are mapped to one handler called on error continue. Along with that, they have given one more handler called on error propagate. These are the two error handlers. Okay, in other words, we'll call these are scopes, right? Now, along with these two, they have given this global and reference are mapped to one more error handler called error handler itself. This is called global error handler or application level error handler, any other word, right? Here we are going to talk about Mule 4 error handling. If you are a Mule 3 user, these are the changes you can expect. When you come to the Mule, when you have a comparison with the Mule 3 and Mule 4, there's a total change in a Mule 4. Okay, it's an exception handling, right? Right. A typical flow contains how many parts? A typical flow contains how many parts? stiffness. A typical flow. Very strange and not getting answers.
Yes, 3
Source,
and source
process,
process and error handling.
error handling.
and error handling. See, one more thing. Before starting this exception handling, I just want to tell one point. You may feel that you are understanding in correct way, especially in exception handling. But I have seen many cases, actual concept is different. What they are thinking is different. When I proactively or provoking them to give some answer, they are in some other direction. They are thinking that is the correct direction, right? So in exception handling, please be careful. Whenever I'm asking question, please respond so that I can understand we are on the same page or not. Are you understanding correctly or not? If you're not responding, you are the losers, not me. Okay, please respond. It's very interesting session, trust me. Today and tomorrow, the 2 sessions are very interesting sessions. I'm covering all kind of probabilities will occur in a error handling block, right? Very interesting. Now, what we configure in a source part?
HTTP listener.
What
HTTP
we
listener.
configure in a source part? Pranay,
Listener.
you need to respond. Sahitya, Munuswami, everyone has to respond in this session.
Can you hear me?
Yes, basically inbound endpoints will configure in a source part, right? What we configure in a process part?
Processes.
Processors.
Yeah.
Okay. Flow, I mean, this listener will convert that request into event. Event will be processed by the processors. That you know already, right? Now, I have one more flow. First, it will be a little bit theoretical. Once you understand that part, it's very easy. Flow 2. Okay. Now, I'm using a flow reference in the flow 1 and referencing to flow 2. If you're using a flow reference, execution will start from where? In the flow 2?
From processor.
From the processor, because already event is created. That event will be given back to the. So can I tell that the logic present in flow 2 is nothing but a part of a flow 1 in between?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if I get an exception at one of the processor level in a flow 2, it means that I am getting an exception at a flow reference level in the flow 1. Yes or no?
Yeah. Yes.
Of course, yes, right? Now, whenever I get an exception, either it could be one flow or a 2 flows or 3 flows, whenever I get an exception, the first thumb rule is it will stop the execution of consecutive processors. That means remaining processors. Okay. That means where I got an exception, I got an exception in this. That means where I circled. So remaining process will not executed. That is the first step. Then when any error occurred, one error object will be created. See, listen to these points in a theory, I mean in a sequential error, that will be very easy to remember. So error object, that means error object means error event will be created. Error event, right? That error event will check in a local error handler. It will check in a local error handler. This is the error handling block. It will check in a local. Who will check? That error event will check in a local error handler. Is there any alternate logic is written in order to catch that exception? If at all any alternate logic is written, that will get executed. If there is no alternate logic, then mule default error handler will come into the act. Mule default error handler. we cannot see that mule default error handler. We cannot see in the sense we cannot configure that mule default error handler. It is an implicit object, right? What that mule default error handler will do, it will logs the entire error information on console. Entire error information about that error will be given on the console, right? And what it will do, it will rethrow that error event, error event to next level. What is the next level in this case? Once I get an exception here in this processor level, remaining processes will not execute it. Then it will check in a local error handler. Is there any alternate logic is configured? If not, mule default error handler will come. What it will do, it will logs the entire error information on the console. At the same time, it will rethrow the error to the next level. What is the next level here? The caller flow. That means the error event will be rethrown to the flow 1. That means till the flow reference. So where I'm getting an exception in the flow 1, flow reference level, right? So since I'm getting an error event, the remaining processor will execute or not in the flow 1?
No.
No.
Will not get executed. Same steps. Can you please repeat the steps? It will stop the execution of the remaining processors. Then it will check in a local error handler of a flow 1. Is there any alternate logic is configured? No. So who will come into the picture now?
Mule default error.
Handler.
Mule default error handler. What that mule default error handler will do?
Logs the error into the console and rethrow the error.
And will rethrow the error to the next level. What is the next level in this case?
Flow 1. Flow
No, there
reference.
is
No, right now we are in a flow 1.
no other level.
So the error will be rethrown to the next level. In this case, the next level is listener.
Okay.
Okay. What is giving back to the listener? Error event, right? So in this listener, if you had observed that there is a response tab, right? That response tab contains 2 parts. What are those? If there is no error, first block will be executed. If there is any error, error response will be executed. Assume if at all it is success, what is the body will be displayed to the client? What is the body will execute? By default, it's a payload, right?
Payload, yeah.
Forgot. By default, the payload will execute. Whenever you get any error event, at that point of time, what is the body will be displayed to the client?
Error.
That what it will display, I will let you know. Now, I said, whenever we get an error, one error object will be created, I said, right? In that object, I have some properties, 6 properties, right? Out of that, 2 are important, like description, and one more is error type. Description is what type of data type? It's a string type. Error type is an object type. So whenever error occurred, one error event or error object will be created. What are the properties of that? Mainly description and error type, right? I said mule default error handler will log the entire error information on the console. That error information contains the description and the error type. Got it? Now, if you want, see, this response tab is responsible to give the body of the client. If you get any exception, if you want, the client should see what type of error. Simple, in the body write as error dot error type. If you don't want that error type, you want the description to be, description means some text whatever you have written in the character level. If you want to show that description to the client, error dot description. So in the body, whatever you write, that will be displayed back to the client. Got it? Understood everyone clearly till here?
Yes.
Yes. Now, what is this error type? Assume that in flow 2, I said I am getting an exception here at this connector level. This connector name is consume connector. Consume connector. Consume connector is used at what? Where? Consume connector, where we used in our program.
So
SOAP application.
Assume that this is a SOAP application, third party SOAP application, and that should be running, that application should be running in order to send a request. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Assume that SOAP server is down. Once I send a request on the consume connector, it is not ready to accept the request because server is down, and I'm getting some response back. What is the response? Error response, right? So based on the error response what you received, you need to identify the error type. That means at consume connector level, not only such error, if the request is bad, you will be getting an exception as bad request. Like that, there are many, I mean, around 6 to 7 types of error it can occur at a consume connector level, right? How you will identify a specific error? By reading the error type. Error type is classified into two. One is namespace and one is identifier. What is namespace? See, in a flow 2, I have a transformer, I have one more component, I have a consume connector. So in a flow 2, where I got an exception, how to identify? Consume connector is a part of which module?
web services.
Web service consumer module, right? So namespace represents which module it is, at which module level I got an error, right? And at this module level, I may have a 10 types of errors. If the server is down, you are going to get a cannot dispatch error. So by seeing that cannot dispatch, you need to understand that we got an exception because the third party server is down. By seeing this identifier, you need to understand that. Got it? Based on the response type, you need to understand what type of error it is. So error type is classified into two: namespace and identifier. What is the namespace? Module name. And identifier is at that module level what type of error it is. Just will be identified by identifier. Understood now? What and all we discussed? We discussed about a mule default error handler, error object. What else? Error type, right? Everyone understood clearly or not?
Yeah. So just
Yes.
a question.
Yes. Please ask.
Yeah, the identifier you mentioned, right? So in the error type. So
Yes.
would it be code or is it like text? Because
No, it will be a text.
okay,
It's not like a status code.
okay.
Yeah. Understood, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. To explain about all these concepts, I have a very beautiful use case. Let me import exception start project. Zero one exceptions start. Okay, one thing you will do is AnyPoint Studio is open with you. Is it open
Yes,
in
sir.
your machines? Sir, no.
Yes,
Yes.
Sushil.
If at all it is open, please import this exception start project. I just want to know how many are able to understand the flows and how it works. Just I have given a 3 flows here. Please analyze that code quickly. I will give exactly 10 minutes. 8:55, 9:05. I will ask. Quickly. Please analyze this. Hope everyone doing here. Is it analyzed? Still 4 minutes left. Any questions? Yeah, Prem. Is it done, Prem? Ashwini?
No, Sujit, I don't have any points to do. I log in
is
from.
it?
Yeah. But
Oh.
I think I understand it, so it's okay. I'll catch up.
Okay, I thought of you. You are analyzing that. So I'm just getting a clarification here. Everyone doing that, analyzing that, imported the project and analyzing that, or not?
Yes, Sujit.
Yes, Sujit, tried.
Okay, Kishore, Rajesh, Munswami Sahitya, what happened?
No, I'm just attending through mobile, Sujit. I'm on
Okay.
my way to home.
Okay, maybe many people are not analyzing this. So let me explain this. So I have a 3 flows: main flow, validate and transform flow, and get product by name flow. So main flow is the main flow, and these two are the private flows, right? First, I have a listener which is listening on 8081 port, and / error is the path. Error is the path, right? Next, that will convert that into event. Event is processed by the next processor. What is the processor here? Flow reference is the processor which is referencing to which flow? Validate and transform flow, right? The event will be processed by the first processor in the validate and transform flow. What is the first processor? What is the first processor here? It is an is true validator. It's a boolean kind of an operator. So what I have written in that, I have written some expression. Can you please see the expression? What is the expression I have written? If the incoming request having some attributes for the product name, if it is HP, then will it be success or not? That means the expression is satisfied or not?
Yeah.
Yes, right? If I give Mac,
Yes.
then also it will be satisfied. That means if the expression is satisfied, that means is true will throw as a true. If it is not satisfied, it will throw as a false. True means success, false means exception, right? So assume that as of now it is a true. Then event will be processed by the next processor. What is the next processor? It's a transformer. Yesterday only we completed that. What you are able to see in the transformer, what is the body of the transformer right now? Yeah, what is the body of the transformer?
So get products by name request is the root tag, and there will be one element under that called name.
Name. And how I am getting that value? By dynamically by extracting the query params, right?
Yeah.
So what is the body in that event as of now? XML body, right? That event will be given to the next process. What is the next processor here? Flow
The flow
reference,
reference.
which is referencing to get product by name, right? This is the flow. So what is the first processor in that flow?
Consume.
Connector. Consume connector is to invoke a what? It's to invoke SOAP application, right? Or else to consume a SOAP application. What are the services present in it? Right now, what is the operation I chose? Get product by name. So will it expect some input in which format? In a XML format. So when I'm discussing is about a SOAP, how I have given input over there for XML for SOAP application? Yeah, how I pass the input to the consume connector? I created a template.
Created a template.
Yeah, parse template. We use a parse template to read the template, right? All this stuff we'll see. On that time, I told that we will be discussing about by using a transformer also, how can we pass as an input? This is the way, right? So assume this consume connect is pointing to so and so, getting the name, and it is getting success. Once it is success, the next what is the next step? The logger. So after consuming the web services, or else after web service consumer, some text I have written there, right? At last, whatever the response I'm getting, that I want to convert it to JSON format. So this is a simple use case, right? Let me deploy this application. Once it is deployed, if I send this request with another name, where I'm going to get an exception? At which processor level I'm going to get an exception?
Validate and transform. Validate and transform.
And a validate and transform. Okay. Now starts. Okay. It is deployed, right? Then if I send this request, my listener will listen for the request, convert it to event. Then flow reference is referencing to validate and transform. At each true validate level, since it is not matching with the condition, there I'm getting an exception. What is the first thumb rule if I get an exception? It will stop the execution of the remaining processors and it will check the local error handler. Is there any logic I configure?
No.
The validate and transform? No, right? Right?
No.
Then who will come into the picture now? Mule default error handler. What it will do? It will rethrow that error event to the next level. What is the next level here? The caller flow, main flow. That means this flow reference is the caller flow. Now, that means that, see, if I get an exception at a validate and transform, that means that I am getting an exception at a flow reference level, right? So if I get that exception at a flow reference, the remaining processors in the main flow will execute.
No.
No, right?
No.
So that error event again, it will check in a local error handler of a main flow. Is there any alternate logic to configure? No, I don't have that logic. So again, who will come to the picture?
HTTP listener.
mule default error handler. What it will do? It will rethrow the error to the listener. Error event to the listener. In that error event, under the responses, what is the body? If it is success, by default payload will be given to the frame. If it is an error, have you seen this structure somewhere? Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the body? I said error is an object. In that, I have multiple properties. These are the properties. Out of that, two are important: description and error type. Right now, I have given as a description. Description is a what type? String type. So output in a plain text format, right? So let me give a request. What is the request? Yeah, I have given a request. I got some description of that. Where I have written the description at is true level. Here I have written if it is expression is failed, I want to display this message. That's what the expression you are getting right now. Another body of a client. So understood now how I am getting this description based on the response tab, what you are getting to the client. Understood everyone clearly?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let me go through the PPT. I have the PPT for only for this exception handling session only. Yes. Okay. How far you understood? Let me know. We are discussing about a mule for error handling. So can anyone talk about this slide? Very easy. This is the flow. Inside that flow, I have a source. Then processors. I got one of the error, one of the processor level exception. Then what it is doing there? It is trying to check whether is there any error handler or not. If the error handler is there, that I will tell later. Okay. If there is no error handler, mule default error handler will come into the picture. If there is no error handler defined, a mule default error handler is used. It is an implicit and globally handles all the messages. At an application level, it will handles all the messages. And what it will do, it will stop the execution of the flow and log their information about the error on the console and cannot be configured because we cannot see that. Next, when an error is thrown, an error object is created. Two of its important properties like description and error type. That's what we discussed, right? And error types are identified by namespace and identifier. We discussed about namespace and identifier. Example, at HTTP level, I may get different type of errors. So this is the module name and this is an identifier, what type of error it is. Right? Next. One more point. What is the information you are able to see on the console? Error information. Yeah. What is the error information I have? Description, right? Error type. What is the error I got here? What is the error type?
Invalid
validation. Validation is the namespace. Invalid boolean is an identifier. Correct? Now, every error type will be divided into two parts. Classified into two parts. One is any type and one is critical type. Right? What falls under any? What type of errors will falls under any? Where you can catch the exception. As a developer, you will think, right, while you're writing. So while you're writing code, you will think. So how to identify? By using an error type, invalid boolean and validation, namespace and identifier. So I'm talking about hierarchy, right? Every error will follow some hierarchy. What is that hierarchy? Let me give a request again. Yeah, from the postman, I'm going to give a request. So I'm getting same text messages, same error messages, right? Now I want this to be shown to the client. Error type I want to show to the client instead of description. Where I need to change? Under the responses of the listener. Under responses, instead of error dot description, what I can write? Error dot, yes, error dot error type. Error type is a type of object. So object cannot be displayed in a text format. So application slash JSON. I'm just saving this application. Now what do we display to the client? Can you please tell me quickly?
Shows validation.
Yes,
The
please.
message, yeah, the message will be now validation, right? Invalid.
It will display invalid boolean and namespace, and identifier is, sorry, namespace is validation, and identifier is invalid boolean. So what is the namespace? I got validation, and what is the identifier? Invalid boolean. In the hierarchy, make you to understand, I have written this slide. So namespace is the validation, identifier is invalid boolean, right? Now for that parent or for that super parent is namespace is mule, identifier is any. So errors are classified into two types. One is any type and one is critical type. Now this validation invalid boolean is part of which type? Is comes under which type? Any or critical?
Any.
It's visible, right? It is an any. So what is that any and what is the critical? What is any and what is critical? Any error which can be handled at an application level is nothing but your any type. That means it falls under any type, like at transformer level, or else at where routing level, if it's a router level. For that matters, at any component level in your Mule application, if you're getting some error, that falls under any type, right? And what are critical type? What is the critical type?
Any fatal error.
Fatal errors, overload, and third parties have also, third party application is having short of memory, right? So all this comes under a fatal error, with basically which is not handled by you. Got it? Yeah. By default, what is the status code we have seen till now? If it is success, what is the default status code we have seen?
200.
200. Those are standard codes. If I get any exception, what is the status codes you are seeing? 500, right? You able to see the 500 status code here, since we have an exception, right? Those are the standard keys. Okay. To discuss about on error, propagate, and continue, we'll discuss in tomorrow's session, because once I start, we should not stop there. Okay, we'll discuss in on error, propagate, and continue in tomorrow's session. So now, can anyone summarize what we discussed about exception handling? The basic part is very, very important. Based on this one also, you can tell. Yes, please summarize.
In a flow, if we get an error,
Okay.
then the flow will stop executing. Then it will check for an error handler.
Okay.
If anything is inside it, it will go through it. If not, the default error handling will take place.
Okay.
And it will display the default message and also the rethrow the error event in the next level. If it's a flow reference, it goes back to the previous flow. Checks again the same for the error handler, and the same will repeat. And
Same
if
steps
no,
will repeat.
if no error handler, it will go back to the listener and display the response of
Which
body type,
response?
which
Error handler response.
What response it will display? Either it could be description or it could be an error type, right?
Yeah.
Both any of the property, by using the property we can display to the client, right? What else?
Yeah. In error type, we have two things, which is namespace and identifier.
Okay. What is the namespace?
It displays the. Just a second.
Yeah, anyone can tell. What is the namespace and what is an identifier?
Namespace is the module name.
Okay. At that module level, we may have multiple error types, right? For that
Yeah.
response, what you're getting from third-party application, appropriate identifier will be thrown. So based on that error type, you need to identify what type of error you got, whether server down or a bad request, based on the identifier. Very good. Next.
Error types are classified as the two types,
Okay.
and one is any, and the other one is a critical.
What falls under
any
any?
type-
What falls under critical?
anything in application level, it's one on any type, and any on the fatal or a server side, so based on server, those are critical, which is not handled by us.
Okay, perfect. So understood everyone clearly? Sahitya, Ashwini, Mike.
Yes.
Yes. So till now we have not catch the exception, right? Mule default error handle catch the exception till now. Tomorrow we are going to catch the exception, custom exceptions. That means we are going to handle that exception by using the scopes. Got it?